Hey, crypto gang. Just thought I'd jump on tonight, see if we can check out the markets, see what's going on. Nice uptrend going on at the moment. Bitcoin, if I take it down to the hourly, it's been a interesting few hours. So before I start going through the markets, I'm going to give time for some of our members in Facebook and on Twitter to come and join us. So today what we're going to do is we're just going to go through the markets. I've got a few coins that I'd like to go through. The idea is for anybody who's online to, if there's any specific coins that you want to look at, if there's any questions that you have regarding the boss method. For everybody who's new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us and for watching and for your support day by day. Big shout out to Brandon Kelly, who is the creator of the boss method and who has shared that with the community, and day by day we are using his method to make some really great profits. A few other really interesting people we've been following on Twitter. We've got if you might just jump onto Twitter while we're waiting to see if a few more people join us. We have, let's see, Crypto Coffee. Very interesting profile. Has some really coins. Vet Wabi. I saw Wabi a little earlier. BNB, Power, and WPR. Interesting. So what I like to do is when I'm going through, I guess I'm just trying to decide what kind of coins to look at in the market. This is definitely one of those people I like to look at. He makes some really interesting tweets. So we've got Vet, Wabi, BNB, Power, WPR. And if we've got a chance, we might go through those today. Another really good person I follow is Node Investor. I've learned a lot of things from Node Investor regarding technical analysis and how not to jump into coins just because they've turned around. So he's really, really good. He has his YouTube channel and of course his Twitter account, and he posts some great Bitcoin charts. So one of the things I've really learned from him is how to set up those supports and resistances. A lot of time you kind of jump in just before it hits that resistance and then it turns around and then you've lost out and it can't go any further. So if you look at, for example, this chart, it was looking at Ethereum. This is a Ethereum shorts. Let's see how he's set up that that resistance there. Probably would have set it up a little bit further down, but yeah, basically that resistance showed us that once it went through that, it was on an uptrend. It had pushed through that resistance. So, so we've got Node Investor, we've got Crypto Coffee, we've got Actual Advice Dodging, another great community member. Big shout out to Chai, the man. He's got some really good, interesting thoughts on Bitcoin and different indicators that he uses. Yeah, a really good person to follow. MFT, crazy, and that basically he caught that using one of his new indicators, so that was awesome to watch. And then the other one, just kind of giving a few shout outs today. We've got Crypto Dog. Another really thing I like about Crypto Dog. He just kind of sometimes does posts that, you know, kind of aren't always just about the profits and the returns, like kind of bringing people back to basics and saying, hey, you know, you got to keep an eye out for this and you got to keep an eye out for that. So one post that he did today, which I thought was really, really good. Tweets. Just going to check out this tweet and then we'll jump on to the Here we go. So it says, easy guys, let's cool our jets. Alts are approaching major downtrend resistance, which a lot of them were, that we have been rejected for several times in the past. The gains today were great. We take profits and lock in stop loss orders. That being said, if we break out, buy all the dips. And this, and this chart that he's got here is regarding the alt market cap. So, it's just giving you a bit of perspective that yes, today was a great run. Made some great profits on XRP, and I know Vive was running. There was a few coins that were just going crazy. But at the end of the day, you've got to keep that into perspective of where the market's at. Keep in mind the resistances. Keep in mind that if Bitcoin dips or spikes, then it's obviously going to affect our profits, and we definitely need to look at that when we are determining if we're going to jump into a trade. No. Okay. So anyway, this video will be on our channel once we're done. We're going to go through some charts. Again, if there's any questions that you have regarding what we're doing, or if there's anything you don't understand, please let me know. And of course, if there's any specific coins you want me to look up, let me know as well. Okay, so we are using, for those people who are new to the channel, we are using the BOSS method, which is the 7. I might just turn off my. So we've got the 7, which is the white line. We've got the blue line, which is the 77, and we've got the 231, which is the grey area. Now, without looking at the fact that this is Bitcoin, it's actually really good to see, because we have, so we've got this great, hopefully that will create another wave. We've obviously got, this is the 1 hour though, but either way, we've got the 231 that's flattened out, which is good. And then we've obviously got the 77, the 7 and the 77, which are currently heading up. Having said that, that's just a quick analysis of any chart and what it would look like. However, if we just get rid of those 4 brushes and we look at the daily on Bitcoin, as most of us are very well aware, we still are very much under that 231. We've got a lot of room to travel to recover. However, we still are within that trend, which is good. We've seen, if we turn the candles back on, we've actually seen those candles kind of touch those that resistance right at the top of that support that we have down the bottom. So I think as long as we can maintain that channel, most people are saying, we're running out of space. So because we've already tried to break this down, this resistance, this downtrend, once, twice, 3 times. So maybe it's not 3rd time lucky, but 4th time lucky. And we could see Bitcoin go through them. So a lot of people kind of talking about 7,000 could just make us kind of, bounce up and back down again. But definitely Bitcoin is, for the moment, and I think Bitcoin is one of those coins that you need to look at on a day-by-day basis. 6,700 is a nice place for that to be, and hopefully we'll see that continue its uptrend. Okay, so we are going to jump down to the 4-hour chart. And the reason I'm jumping down to the 4-hour chart is because that is what we use when we're using the BOSS method. Now, if you are using the, again, for all the newbies, this is tradingview.com, which is where we chart all our tokens. We have tradingview.com. This is the pro account, so I can do it on the 343, but you can, if you're running the free account, which is what I'll use today, so it's basically can be used for anybody, and we'll run that on the 4-hour chart for today. Okay, let's check out some different coins and see where they're at. ADA. So I had set up this resistance here back, which started on the 13th, so about a week ago, where I was waiting to see if that would pop, and because it actually touched that a few times and kept going back down. However, once it broke that resistance, there were two, for me, there were two buy signals. One was that resistance that it broke, and the second one was obviously the crossover wide above blue. If we had bought ADA at the time it crossed, we would have made about 18%, and currently we're about 11% up. So ADA to me is still looking very good. Only negative I see at the moment is there's a bit of a red engulfing candle on that green one, which is a bearish sign. Let's hope we can see. We've still got an hour before that candle closes, so hopefully let's hope that turns around. However, we've got to keep in mind that we are currently oversold here in our RSI. Overbought. So for those who have been looking at our videos, we have an RSI and MACD, and I'll make sure I add a link that to this video. So if you want to get a bit more information on how we read these bottom indicators, there's another few signs. Is obviously we've got some positive momentum with the volume, and that's increasing. So hopefully that candle, I mean, it could have just, because it also has touched that 231, and once it touches that 231, it might just bounce off it. Another thing that could happen is we could just get some sideways momentum. So definitely keep an eye out for ADA and see if we can see it pop out of that 231, which would be really interesting. Okay, next we have HOT. HOT. I honestly think HOT is due for another run. It would have been nice to have caught HOT down here. I am currently in HOT and I'm waiting for the next run to occur. It is currently blue, white under the blue, so 777. However, I believe if we can get some positive momentum, so the last time we had a run was 140%. So in theory, if this momentum can be built up with a little bit more volume, then I think we could potentially see, another run. Another one. If we saw another one at 100, even if we just went up here to the 272, would be nice. So I'm definitely in HOT. I mean, HOT is worth 70 satoshis. That is an absolute steal, no matter which coin you're looking at. So I'm definitely looking at making some nice profits with HOT. So that's a positive for me at the moment. Another coin we're going to look at today is we have XVG. Now I know XVG is a tricky one. I know there's people who don't agree with XVG and they believe that it's not going to it's not really a good coin or anything like that. But if I change this just briefly to the daily, like, how can you not jump into it? So XVG did the last run, it did 1,000%. But even if you hadn't gotten all that, it did 685% since it crossed over in the first run, and then it did almost 130%. Now this was when it was obviously a lot higher. This got up to values of 1,204. Right now, XVG is 226 satoshis. Absolute steal. So and this is another coin that I jumped onto today. One of the things I really liked about it, so we're just going to jump back into the 4-hour, was I had set up that resistance, which had hit once, twice, 3, 4, and I think there was another one here, 4, 5. So once we got that crossover on the boss method, that was to me obviously a positive sign, and then it obviously crossed my resistance as well. The other really good thing I like about XVG is we have the 231, which is now dovetailing. We've got the 77, which seems to have completed a cycle, so that could be ready to come up, and obviously the 7's on the way up. So I think XVG is, and I don't think it's going to make profits overnight. I think it's going to be a longer term profit maker, but I think it will definitely be a good coin to jump into. Okay, get rid of that. Next one. Just remember, guys, if there's anything you want me to have a look at, any specific coins you want me to go through, please let me know. XLM now. This is definitely an interesting one. I'm still in XLM. I'm a bit worried about that red candle because it's about to become an engulfing candle. As you can see, so XLM was a coin that I've been watching for a while. There's a lot of, I might just get rid of a few of those lines. And we've seen it complete waves along the way. The reason I'm concerned is if I turn back those lines, it's actually, thank you, I don't know why I did that. If I turn on those lines, we can see that it's just hit that resistance again, which was similar to that post that we saw in Twitter and the post that it was Crypto was saying how, you know, these coins are hitting major resistance. So just remember, guys, that when we are looking at coins that have been going up, so this one's been going up for a bit now. From the moment it broke out, we are up 20%, and that's a pretty good profit at this stage while we're waiting. Bitcoin's done well today, but obviously that's not by any means of the imagination determined that it's a bull trend. So just be careful with your trading. But yes, this is definitely a good pick at the moment. Will it break the resistance? I don't know. It hasn't since May, June, July, August. So it's been about 3 months. So we'll wait and see. Still has a lot of potential. We've obviously seen some really good volume indicate the MACD is doing really well. Obviously overbought at the moment, so it should have a bit of a pullback. And this may just be a pullback for it to continue its run, but definitely a good one to be keeping an eye on. Ontology. Again, had a resistance set up here, which it crossed through. This one's looking at a buy pretty much very soon on the boss method. We've got the 231, which is flatlining, and obviously we look like, so if we look at, so we've got the 231, which is down, which will probably means it will go, it will flatline, which is really good. And then we've got the 77 completing another wave. You can see a lot of the coins doing that at the moment, and obviously we've got the 7 going on an uptrend. Now if we zoom out a little bit out of ontology, this has been a really good coin in the past, and as we can see, we had a pretty steep downtrend since it crossed. We went down just 78%. Wow, that's a lot. So just keep in mind when you are looking at those coins where they're at the moment, that even though this seems like small movement when we bring it down to the 4 hour, in the greater scheme of things, we've got, if I bring that line all the way back here, we have a support that was created on the way up, and I think that support can be used to bounce off and then keep going up. So did go a little bit under, almost tried to go under here, but I think we've definitely got some good potential. If ontology turns around, you could be seeing some really good profits. Obviously we can see the volume's also starting to go up, which is really good as well. So ontology is definitely looking good on the longer term. Probably won't turn around right now, but definitely it's about to be a buy over maybe the next couple of hours. So ontology is another good one as well. Going to touch on XRP because I know a lot of people were watching it today. Haven't looked at it since this morning. So I was in Ripple, I made like 40 something percent. I was very happy with that, so I was happy to get out. Do I think it's done? Well, if we look at the boss method, I mean, this one's basically, so the 231 turned around because of this steep uptrend. The 77's turned around, and obviously the 7 has broken out. So if we look at the coin at a whole on where it's at, again, looking at the history of the top coin, I mean, if this is the bottom, we've got a double bottom happening here. This has got huge potential to where it could go. However, I guess I wanted to show you one of these coins, guys, because a lot of times we hear about it, and by the time we hear about it, you really want to jump in, and that's when we start FOMOing, and then we buy somewhere up here and we're in trouble. So obviously, and now this may go sideways. If I look, so right now it's overbought, so I think it needs to cool off, and the RSI needs to cool off a little bit. It could have some sideways movement. It did peak at 7,500, which was really good for it. So anyone that would have been here waiting for that breakout would have made 75%, almost 75%, which is really good. But I think we need to wait, similar to what happened here, where we waited for almost 2 days for it to do some sideways movement, and then we jumped in again. Obviously the volume's looking really good. I think we should see some sideways movement, and then it should determine whether it's going to, you know, do a bull flag and then continue its run, or actually come back down again. So that is XRP. Okay, next one we've got XMR. XMR BTC. So this line that I've drawn on XMR is actually my support. I wanted to make sure that it stayed above that because I thought it was kind of doing a bit of, obviously we had a really steep pullback in early September, and that was a pullback of almost 20%, which is quite high. However, if we get rid of those candles for a second and we look at where this coin is right now, we can see that we have positive momentum because we have the 7, the 77, and the 231. Sorry, the 7 and the 77 both above the 231, and that's really positive. So if I turn those candles back on, I can see that it is being very choppy right now. It hasn't, like, you know, peaked all the way up. Right now we can see a bit of a red engulfing candle, so we need to be careful with that on the 4-hour chart. But I think while we're above that 231 and that 77, then I definitely think XMR has potential. So XMR is looking really good as well. OCN. Now this one I just wanted to touch base on. This one's been going up for a while. It's a coin that is still only on Bittrex. So if this coin were to post in any other, you know, if it would go on to Binance or anything, that would absolutely skyrocket. And obviously because it is on Bittrex, it has less volume. But the reason I really like OCN is because both the 7 and the 77 have cleared the 231, and we have a 231 which is now dovetailing and actually doing the turnaround. I'd like to see a bit more volume come through, and I think if we see a bit more volume, then we could see some more legs on the uptrend. If not, we just need to keep an eye. If you are in this one, just to make sure you've got your stop losses, make sure you take profits, and then because our next resistance, if I look at where we are at, it's probably going to be around here, which will hit a downturn and an upturn that we had on the way down. So we've still got potential, and between now and there we are looking at a potential of another 15%, which are still nice profits in this market. And it may just go there and kind of do some sideways movement, but definitely like the fact that we're clearing both the 7 and the 77 on the boss method. So OCN is looking quite good to me. Just making sure if there's anyone that wants me to look at any charts. It's Friday afternoon, I can't type. Okay, next one. And I still can't type even though I'm corrected. Okay, we have Vibe. Now, I did not jump into Vibe, and right now will not jump into Vibe because it's been going crazy. I mean, the first run was 230%, and that was in less than that. That was in 2 days. Then we had a pullback of almost 50%, and now it's going for another run. Now, the reason I haven't jumped into Vibe is because every time I look at it, it seems to be spiking, and I don't want to FOMO, so I'd rather not get into it. However, we could be doing another run here. I mean, we're both 777 out of the 231, which is obviously positive. We've had some significant volume. I don't know, actually I might just jump into Twitter and we'll see if there's any news on Vibe and see if there's any reason why we've got those crazy spikes. It's just a crypto market. Looks like Vibe on fire. I got another buy signal for Vibe. Let's make some. So what I like to do sometimes is just kind of go through Twitter and see if there's any reason why a coin is spiking the way it is. Sometimes it's, one of the golden rules when we're crypto trading is we buy the rumor, sell the news. So maybe someone knows something about Vibe. I get the vibe that these coins are filled with TNT now. I don't know any reason why it would be spiking the way it is. But it's still going. So if you're in Vibe, congrats. Just keep in mind when we are seeing those coins, don't FOMO, don't jump in, wait for a pullback. So if people were watching this one and they saw and they would have jumped in around here, then they would have made some nice profits. Again, we've already made like 80% profits in less than 24 hours. So that would have been nice for anybody who had that coin to jump into that again. I might get in on the next pullback. I still think it's got some really good potential, but I just haven't jumped in. Just be careful when you're trading those coins that have spiked up. Now another coin that I actually got an alert for just a couple of hours ago before I started this video was ZRX. Now ZRX I've made some crazy profits on in the past. However, it just wasn't on my radar. As we can see, it's been going down significantly, and even though it had a bit of a spike here, I just didn't think it had the potential to do anything. But if we are following the boss method, then we would be very happy to see that only a few hours ago we had the 7 cross the 77, which is really good. Keep in mind, now this is one of those things that you need to look at when you're looking at coins that have just crossed, and that's where you decide whether you actually want to get into the trade or not. But even though the cross has happened, which is positive and which is a buy signal as far as the boss method is concerned, the 231 is still going down, the 77 is still going down, and the 7 has a double bottom and could go up. What do I mean by those things is that you still have a lot of downward pressure. However, ZRX is a very strong coin. There's a lot of people who like this coin, so but maybe the 7 crossing and it going through may be enough, but I definitely want to see, we've definitely seen over the last 21st, so maybe the last 24 hours, we've had an increase in volume, and I think that's going to help us move up. Our MACD is looking good. We're looking a bit oversold in the RSI, but ZRX is definitely now on my radar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that one down. Currently at 915, just so I know where it's at. The only reason why I'm not jumping in is because I still feel it has a lot of pressure from the down. Now, some people say, oh, but if I jump in now, then I'm probably going to miss out. Yes, but I would rather miss out on maybe, I don't know, 10% and then jump in when the lines have cleared and there is more positive momentum and know that I'm going to be experiencing 60-70%, because when we have these kind of resistances, because the 231 does act a bit of like a resistance, then what it could potentially do is just kind of go up a little bit and then go back down and maybe even go under and maybe go back. So I'm not happy with the way that chart looks at the moment as far as jumping in on a longer term trade. If you want to make a short 10%, then boss method ticks all the boxes. Just be careful with trades like these ones. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I've been running for about half an hour now, so towards the beginning of the video, we were looking at Twitter and just a few accounts that I follow and I believe are really good when it comes to giving out tips and tricks about technical analysis, but also about coins that are doing well in the market. And there were a couple of coins that they mentioned, so I haven't looked at these since I saw the tweet, so I thought I might as well check them out while we are live. Vet, I've made profits from Vet. This is a really good coin. V chain, which changed. I don't remember what it used to be now. Don't know. However, I will not jump in yet. The 7 is about to cross the 77, so that's definitely a good sign. But it's been bouncing off that line for a week now, so I'm waiting for it to cross that resistance. And the good thing is that if it crosses that resistance, then we will probably have the 7 clearing the 231 and the 77 will probably complete a wave and then start its uptrend. So to me, that is definitely a good sign, definitely on my radar, but not one that I will jump into as of yet. Let's check out Wabi. I saw Wabi a little earlier on. So Wabi's definitely, I had Wabi, and I think Wabi, it sold me out on a stop loss. I think I only made I think I had the stop loss set at what I bought it at, and then it kicked me out, and I'm glad it did because then it started going down. However, again, on the boss method, we're looking positive, white above blue. Really good to see the 231 is now flatlining, almost turning upwards. 77 is looking well as well. I just don't like this resistance. Again, this one's been running for longer. So if I see how long this resistance been around for, I'm looking at about a month. So if we can get some increase in volume, which I don't see yet, or a little bit, if we can get some increase in volume and we can see these candles actually break that 231 and create candles above that 231, which it hasn't done yet since then. It tried here, but then those candles, I wait until the candles have actually cleared my resistance, then we could see this has got some great potential. If I scroll out a little bit from this coin, we'll just move it over to the daily. Yeah, so this coin I think has just found its floor. Looks like a double bottom here set up on the daily, which is definitely a bullish indicator like we had here. So here it did a double bottom. When it created that double bottom, it did 89%, which is really good. But then it just broke under and then tried to bounce off that support that it had there. So that support was probably around here. Bounced off it and then it just broke it. Once it broke that support, it just kept going. Tried to do another support. This one's just had a really tough time. Tried to probably bounce here when it tried to go up, hit that, yeah, probably hit, this was actually, it's probably down here, which was that first spike on the way down, hit that support again and broke it again. So I'm hoping third time lucky. Definitely one to keep on your radar. Wabi could be one that to see some serious potentials, and even if we just went up to that first resistance, we could see 73% up to 180%. So it's definitely got some potential. Again, but if we run it down to the 4 hour, I would definitely wait to see it across those resistances before jumping in. I'm just going to check because I made, yeah, so it's definitely, I've already flagged it, so I've probably been keeping an eye on it, but haven't jumped in just as yet. BNB, love me some BNB, but it's been so far down. Actually bought some BNB, I think it was around here, but I didn't trade it because obviously, if you guys know, we use in Binance, we can use our BNB tokens to pay for fees for trades. So I bought me some BNB, hoping that it will increase, but I'm not going to trade it. If you look at the longer term, if we go back to April, wow. It's kind of bounced off. It had a really nice run here. 63%, broke down, tried another run, kind of hit this. So there was another resistance here with this minor bell. Actually, more like over here. Oh, sorry. More like over here. It bounced off it a few times and it's come back down again. So we can get this sideways movement, have some momentum, and maybe we obviously need some more volume. But if we can get some momentum and Bitcoin continues to be nice, then we might be able to see some good movement there, and it might be time to start trading some BNB again. So is it on my radar? Yes, it is. Next one. Done Wabi, we've done BNB. Power. I really like Power. I do. But yeah, I mean, I've got a resistance set up here. I must have set this resistance up to buy on the way, probably around this area. However, it broke that, and right now, even if you got to that resistance, it would be 25%. So it's cleared. 7 is cleared to 77, which is looking good. Don't like the fact that the 231 and the 77 are still kind of downward trending, but it definitely has the potential to turn around. Keep in mind, guys, we obviously, when we are looking at the charts, this is our go-to bunny. We have to make sure that Bitcoin's playing nicely. It's a bit of a double bottom there, which is quite nice. Let's see. So that's, we go from around there to around there. And we grab that one and we take it from the neckline. Then in theory, we could see 6,900. Oh, that would be nice. So it has the potential to keep going. But we definitely, it doesn't matter what we're doing, whatever trades we are doing, we need to make sure we keep an eye on this. And if that gets to 6,900, which is around here, we'd be very close to that resistance. Is it time to cross the resistance? I don't know. I hope so, maybe. Okay. And one of the other charts that they mentioned was also WPR. Wow, I don't even know what this is. I don't think I've got this anyway. Damn, 100% profits. See, right now it's spiked too much, and even though the 77 is cleared to 231 and the 77 is turning around, I probably wouldn't jump into this coin. I don't really know it that much. So, yeah, as they say here in New Zealand, yeah, no. So I wouldn't jump into it. I don't know enough about it. I probably have to do some digging around and find out some more about it before I jump in. Okay, guys, so I've gone through my list of coins that I wanted to go through. I might just quickly check. Just quickly going to check the coin monitor, the volume monitor, and we'll just see if there's anything else that is popping around and doing interesting things. Lisk, what's happening with Lisk? Lisk BTC. not doing anything. Again, we saw that resistance hit once, twice, double bottomed, which I thought would have gone through 3 times, and it's under again. So no, definitely not. Also going to check, actually I can do that one here. We also like to check the crypto screener that TradingView offers. Now that doesn't mean I buy things, it just sometimes I have so if you go here and go into crypto screener, you can see if there's anything interesting within, that's currently sitting around at a buy. So I like to come in here. So I've got my strong buy set up on my cryptos, BTS, Monaco, OCN. So we talked about OCN a little earlier, so hopefully that will continue to go up. While we've spoken about wings, really? Now I've got mine set up on BTC. However, if you go through here, see if there's another one. So we've got BTS. We'll check in a second. So according to this, we've got BTS. We've got chat. So the ones that are in red are the ones that I flagged. The ones that I don't have the little red flag on it. GRS. I was looking at GRS earlier. What else do we have? I don't know what that is, but so we're just going to run this quickly, guys. We're just going to have a look at a few more coins, and then we can call it a night. Well, I'll call it a night. A lot of you are probably just starting your days. Wabi we've already looked at, and there was one more, wings. Okay. Last run on a few coins. Last chance, guys. If there's anything you want me to look at, maybe I've already looked at your coins. Okay, let's check BTS. BTS, BTC. Oops, it's not going to work. BTS to the BTC. So I had drawn a resistance here. Would have been a nice trade if you had gone in. Even if you had gone in when it crossed, you could have made a nice 15%. It's currently gone above that resistance. It seems to be doing a bit of a pullback at the moment. Some really good signs. We've got the 231 that seems to be flatlining. We've got the 77 which has broken out. So it's already gone down. So the 231's flatlining. We have the 77 which probably just broke out over the last few hours, and we have 77 that's already cleared. So they're all really good signs from a boss method perspective. Our next strong resistance isn't till 25%, so definitely has some potential in it. BitShares, I've currently got it on my radar. I think with some of these coins, it doesn't necessarily mean they weren't good setups. Either there were coins that I found were better setups, or there were just too many coins to choose from. So I didn't choose this one for some reason. But yeah, look for a pullback to jump in if you're not in already, and just keep an eye on that resistance. If it breaks down that resistance, it will probably come down and fill out that little space in there, and that could be a potential, yeah, for about 10%. So just be wary of that. Before I forget, I just got another alert on the volume monitor. It looks like QLC is doing well again. I have gotten into this one. I think I made a trade around this side and then got out. If it does cross that resistance, then as you can see, the 7 and the 77 have cleared the 231. 231 is now on an uptrend, so this has got some great potential. Q-Link could be one that if we clear that resistance, we could see some serious profits, which is also very, very good. Yes, I have it flagged, so it's good. Okay. I don't know this coin. I have no idea. Check coin. That's funny. Let's see. I would probably draw a support resistance about there and probably wouldn't jump in until it crosses that. So obviously we've got the 231, which is, as you can see guys, we've got a lot of coins already with that kind of same pattern where the 231's flatlining or already dovetailing on the way up. 77 is cleared, so has a 77, but we definitely need we need to cross that resistance. That resistance been there for about 2 weeks, so hopefully we can clear that and keep going up. Flag it. I'm happy to flag that. Keep an eye on that one. DMD, diamond. Whoa. No way. No way would I jump into a chart like this. The reason is probably higher than that. There is a huge resistance there. Just keeps touching and going back down, touching and going back down, touching and going back down. And I don't like it. It's got too much red and green candles. To me, the volume... Oh, okay, here we go. So it's a Beatrix coin, which means we probably don't have a lot of volume. It spikes and dips, and it's way too volatile. Definitely don't like it. But it was showing up as a strong buy, so thought I would show it. GRS was one that did a huge run up earlier. Actually, it was late last month already. Wow. So we had that sideways trend, which slowly became a negative for the boss method, but it's now out of the water again. I still wouldn't jump in. I'd probably set up a resistance around here. Yeah, until it doesn't clear that resistance, I won't be jumping in. But definitely has some potential. We've got the 231 doing a bit of an uptrend. 77 has completed another wave, and 77 has cleared both the 77 and the 231. So has potential, but I won't jump in just yet. Okay guys, we are going to wrap up soon. We've been going for almost 50 minutes. Got Monaco, Binance. No, it's still going sideways. I don't like the fact that the 231 is still on a downtrend. And if you look at the, if I just make this a bit higher, and if you look at the 77, I think it still needs to do, so it's done that. It's still, I think it's probably going to do this, and then that will give time for the 231 to come around, or maybe just come down and then flatline, and then the 231 will clear. So is it one that I would jump? I think there are a whole other charts in the market that are looking way better than this one. So I will buy Monaco. But of course it's crossed the 77, and that's probably why I flagged it. Wings. Yeah, actually I did see wings earlier on today. However, I didn't like that spike. So normally when there's such a huge spike like that, you see it pull back and kind of, you've seen it before, like these are huge wicks. And the problem with there being huge wicks is you kind of grab them, and normally you catch them on the way up here and it goes back down again. So that was a 13% wick. That was a 11% wick, and this was a 15% wick. So just not the kind of coin that I like, and I don't think it's ready yet, even though it has already cleared the 231. I just don't like it for now. So we're quickly just going to jump into, oh wait, oh this was the other one. No, I missed this one. EOS. EOS is one that I currently have on my flagged coins. The only reason why I haven't jumped into this one yet was because it actually cleared my trend line, sorry, my resistance early this morning as I was asleep. But then I thought I should probably wait for the pullback and then jump in. But this is a really, really good one. I think as soon as I've got some free BTC, I will definitely be buying some EOS, but not just yet. Guys, that's going to be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. We're just going to jump into Bitcoin, see what it's doing. Still sitting around the 6,700 mark. And just remember, guys, so we create these videos to help you out. The idea is that if you are new to the crypto trading market, you can use these videos to maybe check out the different strategies, the different indicators, and using the tools the best way that you can so that you can make successful trades and obviously in turn some really good profits. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe and turn on those post notifications if you haven't. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed the content, and please remember to share with your friends and family so they can start making some really good profits too. Hope to see you soon. Happy trading, everyone, and thanks again for watching. Talk to you soon.